Bola Ahmed Tinubu take over office on the 29th of May 2023 as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that day night, just talk and say subsidy must go. Bam, that one are the first economic policy in IBC it make happen for inside in government. Today again, they can say, you know what, we could begin float the naira so that to go, make sure say we deregulate the financial market, make everybody begin struggle, the hustle for naira and dollar equal. That one self can make naira go from 700 and something to right now black market is 900 and something naira. In fact, even within interbank, naira been reach almost 800 and something naira per dollar. So people come to look and say that one don't they affect the prices of things so for market you don't they make things hard for people. Even the subsidy when they remove gongo, it don't create different reactions because why they say some people they gain, some people they suffer because economists don't talk, say, oh, now the rich now they enjoy for this subsidy way be said and come out like this. But in all of this, the question where I carry come today for today's episode of Update with Precious, now to ask how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu first 100 days in office don't affect you. I go like hear from you. If they say make you rate them, how you go rate them? Wetin be the mark wey be say you will give them? We waka enter inside streets, make we go follow country people then talk. Make we even hear from them wetin they think about the president's first 100 days in office. Different people now will follow talk about this matter and then get a lot to talk concerning Oga President first 100 days in office. Wetin they get to talk e better make you carry your own ear make you hear am from there gongo and that na wetin I wan bring give you. So I go like hear from you, especially as e be say Oga Vice President Kashim Shettima don talk say, hey, say Oga President 100 days in office, you don dey show up say e dey work well sake of say economic policies dem don dey make life better for people because e don dey tanda, things dey tanda gidigba for people well. How you take see that one? Not true. Even person wey dey put mouth for talk as a concern Minister of Information sef don talk and say, Oga President 100 days, they say na good mark. And even Oga Joe Biden, all the way from United States of America, waka go in there to go hail our president, say, well done. All the things that you don't do for inside your economy for your country, we see am, you dey do well. And this now within the first 100 days in office, they dey hail am for all this achievement. But you, when you be citizen, when you be say the president, they govern. You will be the citizen when the president's policies they affect. We go like hear from you how you take see the policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for your first 100 days in office. That's the matter we'll carry come today. Look, we'll go here within some Nigerians and talk.
Okay, my assessment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 100 days in office. Well, within 100 days, the president promised to remove subsidy and he has done that. But within the same 100 days, he has technically brought back subsidy.
Wetin I go talk, pass like this. For every new president wey dey come into place, one go expect a quick response to activities. And in the case of Nigeria, looking at where we are coming from, and looking at the fact say the previous government not to try. In fact, as a matter of fact, they not just try well for the populace because things they quite challenging for the populace and as a matter of fact, one would expect a new president coming into power to feel say, okay, these are the agendas and these are the policies we will follow to make sure say we'll start to give that kind of leadership we now want.
I'm gonna pick on economy. It's rage. Everywhere is tight in Nigeria. Everybody's uptight. Coming from the times of CBN, scarcity of naira, till now we've not rested on the economy. It's been back to back, it's been struggling and has continued like that. So I don't know if there'll be a time we'll say, oh, this economy is better. At least every Nigerian can eat, every Nigerian can pay transport. Everything is high, the salary is the same. Nobody's talking about minimum wage. Nobody's even talking about what do we do, how do we cope. Yes, we appreciate the monies that we are giving to the states governors to cushion the effect of fuel hike, but it didn't even get to anywhere. It didn't even get to the average family. So
basically, before the fuel subsidy, we buy fuel a lot for generator. We turn on the gen a lot, mostly when there is no lights. We don't like to stay without lights. So once the light goes, especially at night, we turn on the generator to basically watch TV, charge our phones and all that stuff. But since the fuel subsidy, we've only been relying on lights. The only time we turn on generator is when our power banks are dead, phones are dead. Because where's the luxury to be buying fuel and turning on generator like before?
8 months will be okay for him to make impact, positive impact to the people. And if he fails, that is when I can start judging him.
Okay, concerning President Tinubu, I'll say on a scale of 1 to 100, he has done like 40. And the reason why I say so is simply because of the economic policies on ground. And trust me, 40% is a very high number when you look at the performances of the past presidents of this country. 40%, trust me, is excellent according to the scale when you look at the performances of the past presidents. So economically, we don't need to say too much, because concerning fuel subsidy, yes, it's a good policy. However, the way it was implemented leaves nothing to be desired, and the palliative system put in place, I don't understand. It's just nonsensical.
If you ask me, from very detailed investigations, it had been 100 days of disaster, 100 days of pains, 100 days of total destruction. It started with his announcement of removal of oil subsidy at the inauguration. When that announcement was done, everything went up. The price of transportation, the price of food, the price of anything you can talk about. And the country was almost collapsing. It was, and he came up with a very thoughtless palliative of 8,000 naira per family in a month, which is translated to 3 naira per day.
Is it fuel? Is it transport? Is it foodstuff? Okay, let me start with fuel first. The increase in fuel, that's the removal of fuel subsidy that made fuel so expensive, is affecting transportation. Transportation is like on a whole new level, on another level. A place I pay 100, highest 152 few months back, it's now like 300, 400. Like, I'm not kidding. You in a day I can plan, like, because as a student you plan your expenses, you plan your transportation, you plan your feeding and everything, since you do not have a standard paying job or a constant inflow of money. You understand? You're just managing from the one your parents give to you. So if I plan my transportation to be like 400 before, now it's like 1k that's going and coming, and it's not funny. It's not funny at all. Some days you will not even want to step out from your house because you don't know, has transport increased more than this? Has it increased more than this now? I don't know how to put it. What standard of living, it don't really increase.
Things have changed. What else? Transport fare going to school. It has doubled, or should I say tripled. Before, I spent like 200 naira, highest 300 naira to go to school, to and fro. But now I spend almost 1,000 naira. So what's that? That's like triple the cost. So it has affected me greatly.
Then when it comes to the political aspect in terms of appointment of ministers, considering everything and all the hoops he had to go through, I would say he has done well. There were a few anomalies along the line, but when you look at it, it's good compared to other presidents, I would say. Apart from that, public opinion on him definitely is poor. Apart from that, international relation wise, well, he's doing what he's supposed to do. When we talk about concerning Western interests, most of them are they serve the interest of the West anyway. So he's doing his job. So I'd say I give him a strong 40%.
Man, it was horrible. Then you move away from that. We came to the issue of trying to go to war with Niger under ECOWAS. Man, we were wondering, Even the Senate that has 100% support for him actually could not approve that. When we were still talking about that, he came up with the ministers, the El Rufais and the wicked, some wickeds of this country. It is so horrible. If you really take a look of the economy and what has been happening, it has been 100 days of disaster, 100 days of pains, 100 days of lack of focus. This is my opinion, and it's a very, very investigated and considered opinion. Thank you very much.
Within 100 days, President Bola Tinubu signed the student loan into law to make life easy for the vulnerable and poor student. But within the same 100 days, there's been a tremendous increase in the amount of school fees, and the student loan is not accessible. Within 100 days, especially during his inauguration speech, President Bola Tinubu promised to rule according to the dictates of the Constitution and rule of law. But within the same 100 days, the court granted Emefiele a bail, and we saw what the DSS did. Within the same 100 days, UNILAG students tried to protest against the increment in school fees, but they were tear gassed. So I think President Bola Tinubu has been ruling from two sides of the coin. It's been, both hot and cold, and I think he can do better. They said 24 hours is a long time in politics. If 24 hours is a long time in politics, then a day is like forever in government, not to talk of 100 days. And we will know how tomorrow would be starting from today. But I believe it's not too late for him to get things right based on his recent victory at the Presidential Election Petition Court. I believe there should be more stability in government now, and they should be able to deliver the dividends of democracy to the people. Everybody wants him to succeed, because if he succeeds, Nigeria succeed, and our chances of succeeding as citizens of Nigeria increases. So, Mr. President, you've not met up according to the wishes of Nigerians. You've not given us the renewed hope. Rather, what people have been witnessing is renewed suffering, renewed anger, and the popular parlance, renewed shaggy. So please fasten your seatbelt. We wish you the best of luck, and we hope that by the time you'll be celebrating 1 year in office, we'll be able to list several dividends of the democracy that you've been able to give the people. Get the refineries working, increase job opportunities, and make sure there is rule of law, because this is what we attract foreign direct investment. Then beware of political patronage, because it will only favor the people in your circle and not the Nigerian populace. Mr. President, I wish you the best, but sincerely, you really can do better.
But this is what eventually played out. This is how the whole process today go. Looking at the inauguration of the president, he made a very big statement. When I mean big, a very solid statement. And that particular solid statement where he make don't redefine the whole system for Nigeria. That particular statement where he make don't redefine the economy of Nigeria in a way we know they pleasant to the citizens. And what is this particular statement where you make? Remember, say before then, there's always been this back and forth issue about fuel subsidies. Make them remove fuel subsidy, make them leave them. Okay, eventually, on the inauguration of President Bola Tinubu, he said he brought the issue of subsidy out. You can't see subsidy is gone. Whether he mean and say yes, na immediate response, or he mean and say we will take time, but it has to go, it was not defined. And what can happen? That particular statement can trigger a lot of situations. Immediately, the NNPC and every other sectors where they around the oil sector can immediately enter into work to make sure say the process of increasing the fuel price starts. And even waste time, the prices can't start to increase. And fuel stations wey also wey people dey normally buy fuel from, immediately, no even waste time, going by that particular statement start to dey increase fuel. This particular factor wey happen don change a lot of things. It changed the economy of Nigeria, not for the right purpose, let's be sincere. It changed it for a rather wrong purposes, because one, as we speak, millions of people, as a matter of fact, don't lose their job as a result of that particular statement. Millions of people don't lose their job as a result of that particular statement wey he make. But let us put aside the statement, make we just assume say yes, na mistake, maybe you no mean am, but in as much as you try to describe or define the ground, say yes, subsidy has to go, maybe no be so he intend say e go waka. But now let us now look at policies. Yes, a few policies have been introduced, and these policies basically dey to ensure say yes, Nigerians get back on their feet. How far are these policies going? Hey!
It's not funny at all. Few months back, you can use like 2k, 3k to prepare a pot of stew or a pot of soup that can last you for like 3 days or so, or 4 days. But now you can't even use 4,000 to cook one stew or one soup. Like, foodstuffs are so expensive, and it's not funny. Like, it's really not funny for we students. We do not have any paying job. We're just students trying to survive with the little our parents give to us, and the standard of living in this country is just becoming alarming and too expensive for real, and it's actually really sad.
President 100, excuse me, President 100 days in office has been mixed. I like to tell me like a movie we used to watch those days, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Wait, which one come better
So
pass?
the good aspect is that I think in terms of pronouncement, the right pronouncement, he got it right. I mean, those were things that needed to be done, especially in the economy. Removal of subsidy, floating of the currency, trying to look at the tax issues, and of recent is foreign trips. I think he's more or less of Nigerian #1 marketing officer than any other person. And like I said in the program today, it reminds me of when the then President Obasanjo, when he came and was traveling all over and say, "We are back, oh. We are back to do business with you people. We need the people to." I think that's what President Tinubu is doing. He's trying to whip the dead horse, which is the dead economy that was left behind by a member of a member of his party, the former president, President Muhammadu Buhari. I don't want to go into details, but I thought that was the worst administration in the history of this country, especially economically. He might get other things right economically. He never got anything right, as far as I'm concerned. The bad side of it is you came up with policies without looking at the cushioning effect, what you need to do to cushion the effect of that policy on the masses. Because in as much as we agree that these policies were good, but there still also be a check and balance, especially with the masses. You didn't come out with anyone. Up to this moment, we've not seen you addressing the Nigerian workers area, especially in the area of minimum wage, which you promised.
Even though we have very few Nigerians captured under the minimum wage.
It doesn't really matter.
I think that it will make
when you the government, when you make unfortunately, even the private sectors, most of them have even increased the salary of their workers.
Some of them have folded up.
Some of them have folded up, but those that are still in business have definitely increased, whether 10%, 20%. Some of them said, okay, you don't have to come to work every day. Can you work from home? They give them inconvenience allowance. Some of them goes as far as giving them transport allowance. How much is the cost of your transportation coming to work? You know, offices have done a lot of that, but for the government, they've not done anything
at all.
Rather, what he did was to give money to state government, and state government are saying they are going to buy 150 bag of rice. I don't know any state in Nigeria that does not have above 150,000 people that are poor. So I don't know how they want to share the rice. Maybe they will share it dirika so that it can go around for everybody. For me, that's the bad. The ugly side of it also is um, inflationary pressure as a result of this policy. Also, it has had a negative impact on Nigeria. Cost of living has gone very high. I mean, extremely high. So for me, that's the most ugly part of it.
But before we even go further, why you hailed the policies that they were steps in the right direction because there were things that needed to be done. When you were healing them, did you? I mean, was it not put into account that the resultant effect may also be inflation,
No,
which
you
is what we're
see,
suffering?
that's why I said it was a pronouncement.
Okay.
Now, you pronounce and then you go sit down with your team and begin to work up palliative. Let me use that word, even if it's a word I don't like, because I don't believe in palliative, especially palliative that comes with handout. I believe in structural palliative that will have a foundation that
So
will
more
touch
like you don't believe in
everybody.
sharing money.
I don't believe in stomach infrastructure.
Okay.
So it didn't come up with any palliative. We heard the pronouncement. We know that first subsidy will be removed because the previous administration have informed us about that it was going to go in June. But he came May 29 and said subsidy is gone. And he said that was not even in his speech. And so after you made those kind of announcements, you didn't go back and meet your team and say, look, I made this announcement now.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do? The rate whereby you made that announcement should be the same way you should have made pronouncement to caution the effect. It's over 100 days in office now. And yet, we have not seen any of those palliative.
I mean, senators have been receiving emails in their bank accounts, and prayers in their emails.
Where they like they said, the senators
They
said,
are also civil servants, so
no, they said they let the poor breathe. But they themselves are the rich that are really enjoying. The poor still are not breathing. Like I said, cost of living has gone extremely high. I wonder sometimes how people survive in this country. Because most of the people that are still around in this country are the poorest of the poor. The people that are jackparing are the middle class that even have means to jackpot, to even buy tickets.
Do we have middle class? Do we still have it?
Well, okay, like I said one time with you,
or is it a bit tinier?
I said we have the very rich, the rich. And then we have the very poor, the poor. We don't have the middle class. But now let me say the poor, in quotes. You see, what happened to that middle class is the middle class are the engine of an economy. So by the time you begin to lose the middle class, you lost the middle class, then your economy is already in shambles. So the middle class are the ones that pay taxes because they are the ones that work in formal sector. The rich don't pay so much taxes because of the way they drive their investment, the way they go about their project, the way they don't pay taxes like the middle class. If you go to America, you realize that the key drivers of their tax policy are the middle class. So when government is complaining that we are not getting enough people in the tax bracket, it's because you don't have enough people that are working in the formal sector. So that sector is largely driven by the middle class. So you won't. They are no more there now. They are among the poor. In an economy, they will tell you they have the poor, the middle class. I mean, they have the rich, the middle class, and the poor.
Yes.
But you see, I've said that we have the very rich,
and
the poor, and the very poor. So, and it's getting worse by the day because of we have not put the foundation on the policy that have been announced. There must be a fundamental foundation. When Nigerian Labour Congress talking about going on strike, I normally say, even when you go to the negotiating table, don't be negotiating for handout. If you negotiate for a tax bracket that let civil servants' salaries not be taxed for 1 year or for 2 years and increase our salary by so%, that will affect the private sector. because that means the informal sector and the formal sector and the private sector will not be taxed also if government is to go with that policy. So, but when you go to negotiate, you're only looking at, oh, the working class that are working for government. So that is not palliative. Palliative should be structural. You should ask for structural palliative. You could say, again, you can come up, oh, can we have soft loan that is interest free for workers? Can we begin to see our schools? Those are the type of palliative you should be thinking of, not handout. Oh,
but I thought that the last time the NLC had met, apart from increasing minimum wage to 200%, there's also agreement or talks of tax cuts, for some people. That's part of the last bargain I did.
Hopefully, because it's taking forever for the administration to even come up with their palliative.
Exactly. So Mr. Mukhtar, the reason why this is a big deal is because, there's been a lot of nods to the president about how he's been doing such a good job. One of which is at the G20 summit, President Joe Biden met him and said, "Oh, you're doing so well," lauding his economic policies in the country that is in a step in the right direction. But is it? I like to react to. You've already stated your mind, but is it fair that these policies are hailed without understanding its impact on the people?
They will hail the policy because he's favorable to their economy. Because
really it is?
Yes, because before now, Joe Biden is the president of America. So before Tinubu came in, the exchange rate was 400 and something. So it's not 900 and something. So he's giving its own currency mobily. So that's on a lighter note. But I think why they are hailing the policy is, like I said, is the right economic policy to take at when. But like I said again, you need to, sometimes in Nigeria, what we do is copy and paste. Because they did it in UK, they did it in South Africa, they did it in the US. You should think about our own practicality as a country. We have our own unique nature.
Okay, so Mr. Mukhtar, if you're saying that they did it here, they did it here, there, are you saying that these countries don't have one or two things that are subsidizing for their people? So shouldn't the government? Is it that it's totally a crime for government to subsidize for rich people?
That is part of what I'm saying. That every government all over the world pays subsidy in one form or the other.
So what are we enjoying? What subsidy are Nigerians enjoying?
That is why we are waiting for the government to come up with what subsidy are we going to enjoy.
Oh, so you were expecting that whilst fuel subsidy is removed, they will probably be added in another thing.
They could have added economic subsidy. When I mean, I don't know the type of subsidy that you give cash out. Not the kind of subsidy that we're getting in the petroleum sector. It could be a subsidy like, okay, let me give you an example. In Ghana, they came up with their own subsidy. And what was the subsidy? That every household electricity, the government is going to pay a particular percentage for the next 2 years. I mean, next 1 year or 2 years, I can't remember. That touches everybody, whether the rich or the poor. The other subsidy in Kenya, they look at the goods that are most commonly used, that are being imported into their country. And they say, you know what? We are going to get tariff off it. You no more pay tariff.
Wheat, I don't know why wheat is just in my mind because of bread anyway. You understand?
So that also help in bringing the cost of that goods. Those are the type of structural palliative I'm talking about. It's not that when you look at palliative, people think palliative is only for the poor. The rich also need palliative, because if you don't give the rich palliative, they won't turn, since they are the key employer of labor, they will in turn get those palliative by maybe not paying the kind of salary to their staffs that you expect them to do. So palliative should be for everybody. In the United States of America, there was a time that, during the COVID era, everybody was giving a one palliative or the other. Whether you are for the rich, they gave them tax bracket; for the middle class, they gave them cash. And also for their children, they said, okay, if you have so number of children, they give each of those children cash also.
So do you believe that the president's economic policies are beginning to pay off? Because that's what Vice President Kashim Shettima said.
Maybe Shettima is in a different place.
Oh, but that's what he said, that the entire economic policy is a subsidy.
When you look at subsidy, how has it paid? Government have Government have earned more money, but the people are impoverished the more.
Oh.
Because even the money that government have earned from the sharing from the last federation account, which was almost 1 trillion that they made, how much of it has found a way into the economy as we stand now? Let me take Lagos. There are still bad roads all over. There's no any massive infrastructural thing that is going on. You say, oh, this was money that we got from petroleum subsidy removal. So definitely he can't. Maybe he's living in a different. The government said they are going to do strategic reserve. They are going to release green to bring down the cost of food, household food items. Up to this moment, they have not done it. You floated the currency, and the currency moved. At the day you were floating the currency, the parallel market was about 750. Today is about 930 naira.
But bank rate remains at about 700 and something.
Remember, before the bank rate got to that 770, it moved to a high of 870.
Yes, yes.
And now it's 770 when even the Bank of America said that our naira is undervalued. The exchange rate between the naira and the dollar should be between 600 and 650. So how have those policy yielding results? You want to attract foreign direct investors, they are not coming. You want to attract portfolio investors, they're not even going to contribute.
But the president has just signed, you listen now, he has signed, landmark contracts with some investors that are coming into Nigeria.
Let's get that. I said it in the program today. It wasn't a signed contract, it was a pledge.
On a promise.
Promise.
Okay. Immediately you said promise, I let go to my mind. Remember what? I don't hear between different people then talk. True, now the good, the bad, and the ugly comments then. Now this one I don't hear finish. Now wow, my ears have done full. Well, we would like hear from you. What do you think? You believe waiting these people then talk? If you say that the true experience of waiting Nigerians then they see or don't see for inside Presido first 100 days in office, I be your own experience different. I would like hear from you. Even if you do Bodo Yibo, you shall say you get Nigerians them now. Or in fact, the policies then don't affect you one way or the other until some kind of phone calls the way they receive. So I would like hear from you too. Or what do you think really about the comments, reactions where people don't give about the President first 100 days in office. Thank you so much as you watch, and I'm going to look forward to seeing your comment and your contribution on how Oga President 100 days in office will affect you. Thank you for joining this YouTube channel. I appreciate you. My name is Precious Inyi. I'll see you next time. Love you.